Good morning, KW Synergy. This is your Market Center Tech Trainer, Thomas here. And today we're going to be continuing with our Command Core Concept series. And we're going to be moving on to the Contacts tab today. So as always, we're starting out in our main page here of Command, where we have our dashboard and everything. And where we're going to go is going to be our second tab here again. For those of you who may not have watched the first video, if you're ever not sure what any of these icons do, we're going to click the red KW square up here at the top, and it's going to open that up for us. So once we have this opened up, we can see that this one's the Contacts tab, and we're going to go there. So this is your contact database. A lot of agents who are coming in from any other brokerages, or a lot of agents who are new to the game, probably don't have their database stored on a CRM like Command. If you use Brivity or Boomtown or any of these other CRMs, you probably have a database that looks somewhat similar to this, but our Command database plugs into a lot of other systems within Command, so it's good to make sure that we're up to date with it as much as we can, and that we're always constantly kind of trying to, make sure that everything's okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you today how to create a contact. We're going to see all of the different details you can put into a contacts database, into what makes the contact a contact, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about what each of those things does. So to get started, let's go ahead and add a contact here, okay? So when we hit add a contact, a window is going to pop up that looks like this. It's going to ask us first for our full name. And these little asterisks up here, that's any required field. So we can see that emails and phone numbers are not required. They are helpful because when we want to send out emails through smart plans, or phone numbers if we want to text them, or if we need to call them, it's always important to have as much contact info as we can in here. So the full name of this one is going to be Mr. Steve Rogers, and you can also add a relationship. So if he is, let's say that Mr. Steve Rogers is a father to, we have other contact options here. It says no options here now, but that's okay. We can go ahead and start typing in, hit Spider-Man, and now the system thinks that Steve Rogers is Spider-Man's dad. So that's an option we also have here. We can remove the relationship as well. So that's good for keeping track of spouses or parents or anything like that. We don't have a primary email for Mr. Steve. We don't have a personal phone number. We can select a lead source, which is where he came from. We can select that as agent, Allied Resources, Boomtown, which is a marketing platform. There's Brivity, which is another marketing platform. These are all also CRMs. He could have been a call-in, somebody that called the Market Center, or somebody that called you based off of your sign. He could have come from your Command webpage. There's a lot of different. If you had an event and you were doing an event farm, that's also available. If he's a Facebook ad lead, we can put him in here, right? Gmail, Google Forms, anything like that, right? We're going to say that our Mr., and you can get really specific, we're going to go ahead and we're going to say that I met Mr. Steve Rogers at an open house. We're going to mark him as a lead because he came to the open house and he is looking to buy in the neighborhood where we did the open house for. So now that he's marked as a lead, he's going to have a special tag when he gets put into our database here. We'll see that in a second. We also have any tags we can add here. You have a lot of tags already assigned from the system, and you can also create your own tags if you need to at any time. For right now, I'm going to give him the fictional tag. We'll look at creating tags in a minute, and I'll show you how you can bulk add them after you create them. So if we need to add more information, there's also this option. This opens up things like additional contact information, like other emails, their address. We can add about information, their legal name if it's not the same as what they like to be called, their birthday, their home anniversary, which is good for reaching out and making sure that you stay in touch with them and that you can keep track of maybe when they want to sell if they've been in their house for 3 years or more. You can add any more relationships in here. You can show where they work. You can also add custom ones where we can hit add custom field right here, and that will show us more things that we can put in if it's something that we just need to put in that the system hasn't accounted for yet. So once there, we're going to hit create. I'm sorry about this, y'all. I'm just going to close this really fast so that disappears for us. There we go. Now we got the full screen. So now Mr. Steve Rogers is showing up in our database. He has this little L next to him, which means he's a lead. And that lead is just going to make sure that we know to, keep in touch with him and that he's somebody who we can actively be looking at, okay? It's going to tell us where our lead source is, and it's going to tell us what account he's on and who the owner is. Owner is important when it comes to teams and things like that. If you put a contact into your team database, you get to set yourself as the owner. But if you're a rainmaker or if you're working with another agent, you can assign the contact to somebody else. I can't show you that right now, but I will show you that later on. We're going to do probably a team-based command training later on down the road. So keep an eye out for that. Something else we can add that's really cool that helps us with a couple of very specific smart plans are the neighborhoods tab. So we can go ahead and we can add a neighborhood for Mr. Steve Rogers. Now, Mr. Steve Rogers is from Queens in New York. So that's where he's from. No, that's not the right place, but it's okay. It's good enough. He's from Queens in New York, okay? And he is looking at moving to Manhattan, but none of these ones. He's looking at moving. I'm not from New York, if you can't tell. He is looking at moving to, you know what I know is one, Hell's Kitchen. It's a really interesting name, but Hell's Kitchen. There we go, New York. So now we have these two neighborhoods set up for him. Okay, this is the neighborhood where he currently lives, is Forest Hills in Queens, and we can go ahead and if we were to have hit this primary button when we selected that would have shown us that is his primary neighborhood now. So it also shows us all of that contact information there and any social profiles he has and all of his about information that we could have put in there. You'll see up here at the top also that I kind of skimmed over, his contact health score is low. The more you fill in here, the more he's going to have his health score go up. That's just kind of showing you, contacts you need to work on, people you need to reach out to and learn more about. So that's the left side of our contact screen for when we're looking at a contact. If we look over on the right side of our screen, we see that there is a timeline option where it shows us what we did. So today we created it. We changed the source to Open House where we met him. Subscribe to Neighborhoods Forest Hills and subscribe to Neighborhoods Hell's Kitchen, right? Any opportunities we have going on with him, any transactions, those are going to show up here so we can look at a glance and see what he's involved in. Any smart plans we have him assigned to, we can put him here and we can add him onto smart plans. Smart plans are going to come around in a later video, so stay tuned for that, everybody. Tasks are just something that we can add so that way it's like reach out to him, text him, remember to send a card for his daughter's birthday, things like that. And we just hit create task. It'll bring up an option here. We can make it a call task, a text task, or other, add a description and a title. We can also add a hyperlink if we need to, if that's where we need to put any sort of information or any sort of extra thing. And priority level is going to show us when we need to do it. And all of these tasks, and the due date as well is important, all of these tasks are going to show up on our home screen that we were looking at the first. Right in the main box is going to be our tasks. So that's how we can create a task for this person. We can also hit notes, and over here we're going to see saved searches. So when Mr. Steve Rogers is on our website or our KW app, which we will also look at later, he's going to be able to save his searches that he finds, and we're going to be able to see them as a list here. So we can make property tours really, really easily using the Command Contacts database. Okay, so that is our profile for Steve Rogers. We're going to go back to contacts now, and I'm going to show you guys how we can add some things, okay? So, as you can see, we've got a couple of different sources, a couple of different places that we're getting our leads from. All right, Barney Rubble and Fred Flintstone, they're obviously our caveman friends. Bruce Wayne, he's off by himself. He doesn't have any of his other superhero Justice League friends. But Spider-Man, Steve Rogers, Tony Stark, they're all our Marvel friends, right? And so what I want to do is I want to make sure not only are they all tagged with the fictional tag to make sure that it's right, I want to make sure that they're all tagged Marvel as well. So that way, if I need to send out a thank you Avengers, kind of email or text message, we can send them out to just the Avengers, and we're not going to give Batman a thank you Avengers card. So what we're going to do to make a contact tag is we're going to come up to our arrow over here by our name. We're going to click down on that and we're going to go to settings. Settings is right here. It's going to load up for us, and after that, it's going to drop us immediately into our contacts, or our, not contacts, our connection screen where it shows us what we have connected. But we want to come over here to command settings on the side, drop that arrow down, contacts, drop that arrow down, and contact tags, and click on that. So this is where we see all of our contact tags. The system gives you 18 by default. Sorry, 17 by default. I have 2 in here. You can add as many as you want. You can add as few as you want. You cannot delete the ones that the system gives you or edit them, but you can delete the ones here that you make. So we're going to go ahead and create a tag. And we're going to create a tag. We're going to make it orange because you get to pick your colors. And we get to go ahead and we get to name it Marvel. So now we hit create. Now that is going to show up alphabetically over here, Marvel. So now we've created the tag. Now we can come over here, go back to our contacts tab right here on our sidebar. From there, we're going to select the people we want to tag using this little checkbox on the side of their name. So we're going to hit Spider-Man, Steve Rogers, and Tony Stark. After we hit a checkbox, this box will appear up at the top that says select bulk action. I'm going to unselect everything so you guys can see that again. There's no bulk action box when we have nothing selected. But when we select people by either manually selecting them on the side, or if we just select all at once, the bulk action box appears. Gone, and it's back. So we don't want everybody, we just want our Marvel friends. So we're going to select them, and we're going to hit select bulk action. We're going to hit that, and we have a bunch of options here that when we hit it are going to get added to all of them at once. So right now we're going to add a tag. That's that third option right here. Which tag do we want to add? Well, we want to add our Marvel tag. We're going to select it. We're going to hit add selected. And now we have, it appears here. It won't appear as their primary tag. Tony Stark didn't have a tag before, so that's why his showed up. But now when we come to Steve Rogers, he has fictional and Marvel. Now what's important about tags is, again, like I said, oh, there it is. Now it's showing up. Perfect. I was confused about that for a moment, but it's showing up now there. So what's really nice about tags is that it allows us to help us filter our contacts down. So if we come up to filters up here at the top, we can hit filters, and let's say I only want to see our Marvel friends. We're going to select Marvel, and then once that's selected, we're going to hit apply. And now it's only showing those individuals that we have tagged with the Marvel tag, okay? We'll also get the option once we add any filter to create a smart view. Smart views are great for if you don't want to remember the parameters you used, because as we saw in the filters, there are a lot of options. We have contacts only, there's tags, we can search by lead source, we can search by agent site connection, whether or not they're on our agent site or not, their neighborhoods, recently active, when they were created, their birthday, so on and so forth, primary address, all of these things, okay? So once we have a filter going, we can create a smart view. So we just have to set all of those filters once, and we don't have to set them again. When we hit create smart view, it's going to open up this, and it's going to say, hey, do you want to create a smart view? We're going to say yes. We're going to name it our tag name, because that's our primary filter. And we're going to hit save smart view. So now if we go ahead and we clear all these filters away, so now we're not searching for anything, and it's going to show us all of our database again. Well, what happens if I want to smart view all contacts? It shows us everything. Well, what happens if I just want to see my Marvel friends? We hit smart view Marvel, and there it is, just our Marvel friends. The filters get turned on automatically for us. We don't have to go in and click all of the different ones that we wanted to click. So that is smart views. That is our contacts. If you ever also, there's a little bit of customization available here. If we ever want to not have their recently active at the front, for example, if we want to make sure that their tags are at the front, we can just hit customize columns here, and it's going to show us sideways what the columns are, and we just hit tags, drag it up to the top. You can also add tags. So for example, if we want to add in a mailing address, if that's important to us, we click that, it'll appear at the bottom, and we can drag it anywhere in the order that we want. So let's say we want that right after their primary email. We're going to go ahead and hit apply. And now the tags are at the front, and we have mailing address over there behind primary email. that is customizing columns. There's one other thing we can do at this point. If you do have your database set up somewhere else, for example, a different CRM, or even if you're just keeping it in a spreadsheet on your computer, what we can do is we can hit import here. It'll ask you to upload the file there. I'm going to download the template to show you guys what it looks like. Let's see. It's going to open up for me. There it is. Okay, so first name, middle name, last name. These are all the things that we need in order for, or that command looks for in order to make a contact. Tags are over here if you already have them tagged in a different CRM. Their social media can be linked there. We don't really need to fill out all of these, just the stuff we know. When we go ahead and we fill in this, for example, this is going to be... oh man, I hate coming up with names on the spot. Let's go with, that's gonna be Peter, and his last name is Quill. So that's what we know about him. Okay, that's all we know about him. At this point, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna file, save as this. We're gonna just save it to our desktop so that way it's easy to find. I'm gonna call it database import. Any name will work. It's just important that we save it as a CSV file here. So we're going to select down here CSV UTF-8 comma delimited. That comma delimited is what is important. That's how the file works. So we're going to hit save on that at that point. It's going to say that it might be lost, but it came out as a CSV, so we're fine. So we're going to say yes, keep using that format, and we can get rid of that now. Now we can come here, go to our desktop, grab the database import, open it up. It's going to say upload complete. We're going to continue. And this is where it's going to show us what it's going to look like. So if we had the primary phone filled out, the primary phone would have gotten filled out there. We hit finalize import. It's going to tell us our contacts are being imported. That's good. Hit return to contacts. And then we're going to refresh our page. It's going to give us a notification up here in the corner that, hey, you had somebody be imported into your database. If we click down on that, we'll see contact import. Your requested contact import was successful. You should see your new contacts created in a few minutes. The few minutes is for when we're doing big uploads. You'll more than likely see, if you're doing a couple of small uploads, you'll see it right away. So that's how we can bulk upload people into Command, because now we have Peter Quill here. He doesn't have any other information because we don't have it. But now, just like with Steve Rogers, we can go in, we can mark him as a lead if he's a lead. We can go ahead and give him the tags of fictional and Marvel. We can do all of these things for Mr. Peter Quill. So that is our contact database. If you guys have any questions, feel free to call me or leave a question in the comments about this. I will love to get back to you about it, and I hope that you guys go forward and do the best you can with this system. Have a great day.